Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky is a Democrat from Illinois and the Chief Deputy Whip. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Martin.
Mr. Issa, along with other Republicans, were grandstanding last week demanding that the Attorney General publish all of these documents. But were they cognizant of the fact that if he were to do so, he himself would be in breach of the law because these documents include confidential wiretap applications and confidential details about informants?
Well, that must be why last Friday Darrell Issa dropped those requests and focused in on yet another request for a document and from communications. But really, the committee and Darrell Issa can't seem to take yes for an answer. And it appears that even John Boehner and Eric Cantor are not really interested in a contempt vote coming to the floor of the House of Representatives.
Republicans, as you know, were fairly hostile toward the Attorney General during his confirmation hearings. But what has this Attorney General actually done that has provoked such animosity from Republicans? Animosity that we saw displayed when he was before the committee.
Well, actually, Martin, every representative from the administration that comes before any one of our committees, including mine, the Energy and Commerce Committee, is subjected to the most grueling questioning and really ridicule about the job that they're doing. That seems to be the strategy in all the committees, the subcommittees. The chairman, I believe, must be instructed to find anything embarrassing that they can find. But I think that what Darrell Issa has done is managed to embarrass himself to the point that his leadership don't want to pursue this any further because, you know, it could also blow back the former Attorney General Mukasey. This is when that program, Fast and Furious, really started, and the gun walking, as they call it, of guns across the border really began.
Right. Now, we want to play some sound from Senator Mitch McConnell today on the topic of the president's immigration order. Just to get your reaction, ma'am, just listen to this.
Okay.
I think we're going to wait until we hear what Governor Romney has to say on this issue. There may be others behind me who want to address it, but my view is he is the leader of our party from now until November, and we hope beyond. And we're going to wait and see what he has to say about it.
Are we to assume that one of the most senior leaders of the Republican Party now simply doesn't have opinion on matters?
Well, because it's all about the election. They don't have an agenda other than and then defeating, and that was what Mitch McConnell said early on when asked about his legislative agenda. It was to make Barack Obama one-term president. But I just want to say, Martin, that I was really disappointed in journalists who failed to ask Mitt Romney, Governor, didn't you threaten to veto? Didn't you say you would veto the DREAM Act? I remember that distinctly, and as far as good journalism goes, it wasn't just the shouting out at the in the Rose Garden, but how come journalists didn't ask him about that?
Yes, but you heard Bob Schieffer on Sunday repeatedly ask Mitt Romney whether he would support or repeal the president's announcement on Friday, and he simply couldn't answer the question.
He couldn't
I think that was more a function not of the journalist concerned who repeatedly put the question. That was more an absolute and abject failure by the Republican nominee.
No, I completely agree with that, but I would have liked to hear the question not asked, would you repeal it? And, of course, the whole thing was a blah, blah, blah. And I think Bob Schieffer did a good job. But I heard distinctly Mitt Romney say, and unless the Etch-a-Sketch has erased it, that he would actually veto, if the bill passed, that he would actually veto it as President of the United States. I think that this has been completely botched by the Republicans in every way, and not just the way it was handled, but their position is not in favor of what the president has done, which is absolutely the right thing to do.
Congresswoman, they don't have a position. That's the problem.
Well, I don't know if they don't have a position. It seems to me in the absence of a position, while millions of Americans are waiting to hear, especially the dreamers, the young men and women who now are hitting a brick wall as they graduate from high school, I think their position is clear. They don't want to act. They're not ready to act. They're not willing to act to save them from the potential of deportation and joblessness.
Well, as we just heard, Mitch McConnell, he doesn't wish to comment on the subject until Mitt Romney comments. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, thank you for commenting on these issues. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin.